I'm Amanda from the Writing and Research and Technology class. Um, Today I'm just discussing the videos we had to watch for class. The main video I'm going to be focusing on is the first one, which is Michael Wesch describing basically technology, how it's changed and influenced where we are with communication, but he mainly talks about YouTube, which I found very interesting. So that's what I'm going to be focusing most on. There was one part that I thought was really funny. In the beginning of his video, he talks about his first vlog, which I wanted to mention because I can completely relate. He was saying how weird it was the first time he filmed himself and did his first vlog, and how weird it was in front of the camera. And I can completely relate right now because this is the first time I've ever recorded myself on a camera and just talked into it. I feel like I'm talking to myself right now. I feel like it's kind of weird, but I'll get used to it, I guess. But I really thought that was funny because as I was watching that, I was thinking, oh, I'm going to be doing that in an hour from now. But he makes a good point when he's talking about that, and that's actually one of the main points I wanted to talk about. He talks about privacy becoming public, and he says basically that we look into this camera, and I'm in, the privacy of my own home. I'm in my room right now. Nobody else is here. It's just me talking to myself, ultimately, and looking at this little red dot on the camera. And what is so private and should be very easy because I'm talking to myself, is actually one of the most public things you could do, because this recording that, while right now it's just me, is actually going to be shown to the world ultimately. Anybody who wants to come across this can watch it, and they could judge whatever opinions I have, or they could, comment or agree or disagree on anything that I say. So that whole privacy thing is very interesting because it's the most public privacy you could actually have. So I thought that was a really good way to start this because I fully agree with it now that I'm actually doing this myself. The main idea behind what I got out of this video was YouTube, Facebook, all of these networks that we have, and the internet in general, technology in general, with cell phones, you name it. It actually makes the world small. Like, everybody says, oh, it's a small world, like, as a metaphor or a cliche little line, but the world really has gotten smaller. Obviously not physically, but as far as communication goes, because now we have all of these new ways where we could talk to people on the other side of the world. I could upload a video with my opinion about YouTube, like I'm going to be doing, and it's now it's my thoughts, my ideas. I got to put it out there, and now somebody who may have never seen me, talked to me, heard my opinions ever, all of a sudden gets to hear it, and they could be, next door, or they could be in Japan, and they're going to be able to hear exactly what I have to say and exactly what I think. So all of a sudden, everybody's connected, and we're all one all of a sudden. So in that, technology is amazing for that, and that's definitely something that I find very important, and it's definitely a good thing. When talking about YouTube and all of these things, I think of how it relates to me, and, Facebook, go back, 5-10 years ago, when Facebook wasn't even around, I wonder how I would have stayed in contact with half of the people I stay in contact with now if Facebook never came about. Back, 20, 30 years ago, we didn't have any of these things, yet communication still occurred. People still stayed in contact with each other. But now it's like you can be in contact with anybody, and it just makes it so much easier. So it's definitely a plus for communication as a whole. I also wanted to mention online dating because online dating relates to this as well. You don't even have to go out to date anymore. You could make an online profile, type in some interests, and there you go. All of a sudden, you're you could potentially be meeting somebody that you never thought you were going to meet. And they could be, close by or far away. It doesn't matter. The internet has made this close-knit connection with everybody. Along with this, the whole Creative Commons thing. I was very interested in that because I never heard about that before. All of your opinions, are copyrighted, they're yours, but the whole point of communicating is the idea of, being connected and actually physically being able to communicate. If you can't, refer to somebody else's opinions or, use other people's opinions and work as a resource, then what's the point in even having it out there? So the whole copyright thing with it being kind of copyrighted, but you could still use it, I think that's really, really cool and really important, because that's how we, learn about each other and we create the things that we do create. It's freedom of opinion, and it makes life definitely more interesting. I'm definitely very interested in where this is going in the future. We have changed, like I said, so much over time. 20 years ago, I wouldn't have even been able to do this, have like a camera that I was provided in class and, give my opinion and air it on the internet so very easily, and then all of a sudden, anybody could watch it, anybody could respond to it. It really makes you feel like your opinion matters and people ultimately care about what you have to say. I'm really interested to know, next year where we're going to be, or a couple years after that. So it's definitely something to think about. All right, well, that's all. Thanks for listening.